The Girl in the Tower. Source anonymous. I also urge everyone to consider this story's moral and take it to heart as I have. Do what you can for others because you are able. A long, long time ago, in a faraway land, there lived a cruel lord and his beautiful daughter. The lord had once been a good man, blessed by the gods with strength, bravery, charm, and powerful magic. In his youth, he had traveled remnant in search of adventure, fame, fortune, and love. He saved many people, slew many monstrous beasts, and brought many wicked men to justice. When he rescued a princess from a brutish gang of kidnappers, he gained everything he had ever desired: a wife, a castle, and land, and recognition across the kingdom as a mighty hero. What more could a man want? Just one thing: a son and heir. When his wife became pregnant, the whole castle rejoiced. But soon the lord's fortune reversed. His beloved fell ill, gave birth to a baby girl, and lost her own life in the process. The lord locked his daughter in the highest tower of the castle and retreated to his chambers to grieve. Only he and the girl's nanny were allowed in or out of her tower room, on punishment of death. Many weeks passed before the lord visited his baby girl for the first time, and he refused to hold her no matter how much the nanny encouraged or even begged him to. Over the years, his daily visits grew shorter. Then they became visits 2 or 3 times a week. By his daughter's 11th birthday, he was visiting only once a week. "Why must I stay in this tower?" the girl would ask him. "I am protecting you from anything or anyone that might harm you. You are the most precious thing in the world to me. I could not bear to lose you." He brought her food and presents, dresses and hairpins, brushes and dolls, but nothing that she could use against him or to take her own life. The single tall window was enchanted so she could see out, but not extend even a hand over the sill, and she assumed no one could enter the room through it either. However, when she attempted to toss out her father's gifts, she discovered something interesting. Inanimate objects could pass through the magical barrier. Since the girl could not leave the tower, her nanny brought the outside world to her. She taught the girl to read and stole books for her from the castle library. The girl lived hundreds of lives through other people's stories, and she harbored the impossible dream of venturing beyond the tower one day, finding true love, and becoming a kind and generous queen with her own castle and daughters. Meanwhile, miserable and alone, the lord's sorrow gradually twisted into resentment. He raged against the unfairness of the gods and took out his anger on his staff. He became obsessed with increasing his wealth, as if money could replace the love of his life, increasing land taxes on his tenants and cutting his staff's wages. Paranoid about losing all he cherished, he dismissed half of his servants and replaced them with trained soldiers to protect his riches and defend his castle. By the girl's 16th birthday, the king was visiting only once a month, whenever the whole moon was visible from her tower window. "This was your mother's favorite place in the castle," he told the girl. "She loved gazing out that window." "And now it is my prison," the girl said. "You aren't my prisoner. You're my daughter." "Then let me go," she begged. "I cannot. Someone would abduct you and demand a ransom," the lord said, "or worse." But the girl realized that the lord did not love her as a parent loves a child. Rather, he thought of her as just one of his treasures, to be jealously hoarded like his gold and jewels. She decided she had to escape, and she desired to punish her father for his cruelty. She was not strong enough to fight her way out of the tower, but she was smart. She struck upon a plan. "Thank you for the beautiful necklaces and rings, father," she told him. "You give me everything I could ever want except—" "What is it?" the knight asked. "What else would make you happy, my dear?" "Freedom," she thought, but she bit back the word, for that kind of talk made him angry and violent. "Pens and paper," she said. "I love reading, and I would like to try writing stories of my own." He saw no harm in her request, and brought her pens and paper. Perhaps when I visit you will read your stories to me, the Lord said. The girl used the materials he gave her to record her own story with an open ending, a promise that whoever defeated the Lord and freed her from the tower would inherit the castle and all the riches within. She hand-wrote hundreds of copies of her story during the days and tossed the pages from her window at night. Caught by the wind, they scattered far and wide throughout the kingdom. News of the girl's terrible predicament spread across the land. Soon, warriors began arriving to challenge the Lord in battle. His worst nightmare was coming true. Although he had turned evil and miserly, he was still a skilled fighter with strong magic. Many bold warriors perished before his soldiers on the long brick road to the castle's entrance. Those who fought their way inside ultimately faced the Lord at the base of the tower, and none could defeat him, until one day a new challenger arrived, a legendary hero. Armed with potent magic of his own, the brave man bested the evil lord in combat. He seized the tower key from around the fallen man's neck and ran up the stairs. When he threw the door open, the girl was astonished. She rose and smiled at her savior. At last, she was free, from the tower at least. The girl and the hero fought side by side against the Lord's soldiers, who were no match for their combined magic. Together they escaped the castle. This castle and all these lands are yours now, she told the hero. The hero shook his head. I only came to right a terrible wrong and strike down an evil tyrant. All you needed was a little help, but in the end, you freed yourself. The girl was surprised to have met a hero right from the pages of a fairy tale. The hero was surprised to meet a smart and powerful girl who shared his curiosity about the world and a strong sense of justice. Neither was eager to go their separate ways. So, where should we go now? The girl asked. The hero offered her his hand. Wherever you'd like. The two fell deeply in love, planned adventures around the world, and lived happily ever after.